There we go. We're up and running. All right. So once again, these levels on the charts, they actually look better today. It looks like there's some room between them, but realistically, just look at the numbers. There's not much going on between them. Not much space still in the 50-cent range. And if you go into the 1-minute chart here, just in the pre-market, you can see how quickly the 1-minute chart is able to go through these levels, and you expect bigger candles after the open. So still very tight. And in any case, even if the levels had room, I don't see a setup. I really don't. It's sold off yesterday into the previous day's range, then gapped up today. Just messing around with the previous day's high, yesterday's high. Let's see if it truly breaks out. That could be the fun. I really don't want to be interested in shorting it because you're getting into yesterday's and the 2 days ago mess, the choppy zone. Let's see what happens if the 1-minute chart sets up with good RVR. But again, these levels are just not there. Even if I take a trade, it's a bit of a stretch with RVR. Not worth the trouble. Make sure all these things are working. Okay, everything's good. All right, I got all this working. All right, what else do we want to look at? We have about 10 minutes to the open. Good morning. We got everyone in here. Alexander, you're looking at SoFi. All right. Let's look. Oh, yes, big old candle. That's an 8 a.m. candle. I haven't seen one of these in a while. That's what you want to see. On the SPY, you see it like that. That's when it's fun, right? Anyways, yeah, very large on SoFi. Looks like there's a massive catalyst. And just looking at the price action, you have this flat top. You can see it's bumping itself on the top. It's pretty flat. Ideally, these 30-minute lows keep getting higher. You're ascending wedge and then breakout. Could be good. Wait for that ORB breakout. With the big catalyst, you're probably going to have, it's probably good for lots of momentum trading at the open. Again, ORB stuff. So, yeah, something to watch for you scalpers. I think that'll be good. Raf, there you go. Earnings. Thanks, Raf. Got earnings on SoFi today. So that's in play. If you are a scalper and you like that style of trading, that looks all right. Suzanne, you're saying SMCI second day. Oh, yeah, that was active yesterday, right? Yeah, very bullish all day yesterday. Good pattern. And today, just looking at the chart, you can see that the bounce off of yesterday's interesting intraday high right there. You see that breakout happened? This is interesting. You have a bit of an ABCD pattern here, right? And then you had the breakout, and now you're looking at a retest around about 59. Ideally, at the open, it comes down, bounces off of that level. That's when you get your entry. You're going up through 60, probably liquidity there, and then into 61. I think that makes sense. Could be good. Again, good for scalping. On the 8 a.m. levels, there you go, even this. So just going off of Fibonacci levels, I don't see a setup on this perspective. I don't see any sort of consolidation, breakout, reversal, nothing yet. I'd wait for it. There you go, a couple of different ideas there. Dean, Jolt's job openings at 10 a.m. today. Cool, thank you. Thanks, Dean. We got news. Good. A couple of things to look at. What else is on your minds, guys? Let me know. We can look at it. We have a few minutes to the open. Any other tickers? I doubt I'll be taking any.
NVIDIA.
NVIDIA? All right. Oh, another gap up. Is there news on this one too? Well, you have.
I don't think so. I think it's just all-time high again.
Okay. On a very localized pattern, you have this flat bottom here, kept bumping itself on the bottom, and then you have these highs getting lower all this time. Now looks like the breakdown's happening. So this is a decent setup for a short from that level to the next. I would wait for the breakout, let it conclude, get it back up there, retest the breakdown, and you might get a short going to 178.31 if you can get good RVR with a good entry. That's a very localized pattern. If you zoom out, oh, it's all an uptrend, right? So you're really waiting for breakout on the other side going up. But I don't see a setup for a breakout to the upside. Anyways, here's where the quality of the consolidation tells me that it's likely to break to the downside more than the upside. So far, that's what we have. So I would be thinking of a short if I was trading this. And what's cool is it's happening already. The breakdown's happening. Let's go into the 1 minute. So let's say it opens somewhere down here where it is right now. And at the open, if it pushes up and rejects that level, that's basically the retest of the breakout, and off you go. You can even see on the 1 minute chart, lower highs, you had that little consolidation before the breakout happened. So I'd wait for that. Again, stay out the first few minutes, 3, 4, 5 minutes. It's just messy. I would think of that. That would make sense. What do we have? Wins, PLTR. PLTR. Well, just looking at this, it's a tight pre-market range, stuck inside yesterday's range, actually within the last 2 days. There's good.
Was there news there, PLTR, yesterday? Dropped by one.
Okay.
I don't know. That looked like a news. Yeah, because it dropped and then recovered.
Yeah, could be. Again, pre-market breakouts would make sense. Long or short. If there's lots and lots of volume, right? If you believe look at the RVol after the open and see if it's still in play based on yesterday's middle of the day news. And if that volume is in there still today, then you have a good chance for breakout. Just pre-market high and low would make it. Let's just put the Fibonacci levels. Yeah, there you go. Breakout to the upside. But again, as far as the quality of the consolidation is concerned, I don't anticipate. I wouldn't put anything on this. I don't have a setup to go long or short as a breakout. It's nothing that I would trade. But again, if there's big volume from yesterday, leftover volume, call it that. Scalping opportunities could be good. Keep an eye on it. Let it form the opening range, and then you might have something. Yeah. Cool. What else we got, guys?
Hey, Avi, thoughts on AMD? I'm looking for a bounce off of yesterday's high.
Yeah, makes sense. Again, it's all been very bullish. From a daily chart perspective, previous day's high, just bounce and go, right? Not too complicated. Yeah. Wait for that bounce. If it happens, you got it. It's all in an uptrend. You're just going with the trend.
Yeah.
I think that's all right. And Anthony, you're looking at NVO. Oh, this thing's in play. Probably on short selling restriction. So shorting will be tricky. You have to wait for your fill. Again, this sort of thing, you wouldn't be too fussed with the Fibonacci stuff. Big catalyst, probably big volume. You're going for the ORB stuff. Momentum trading again. Scalping. As long as there's plenty of volume, it's got a gap. Personally, I like to go in the direction of the gap when I'm scalping with those ORBs. So short.
Yeah, same.
Might be on short selling restriction. There we go. Yesterday was a news candle. And Alexander, PayPal. PayPal. Still use PayPal. Whoa, what happened here? Again, news. Looks like news. Same story. I'd suggest scalping opportunities. It's good. We got stuff to look at. We're getting into the open now. Let's put a few things on the charts. SMCI looks interesting. PayPal looks interesting. Again, all of this for ORBs. And government release. Okay, government contracts on PLTR. Okay, there's some news. All right, thanks, guys. You guys are full of it. Got all this stuff. RBLX. More exotic stuff today. Got all kinds of stuff. What's up with RBLX? You like the daily chart? All right. Well, here's the thing, Mark. Daily chart might look all right, but you need a certain amount of volume for day trading, generally speaking. Otherwise, it gets choppy on a 1 minute perspective or just a day trading perspective. Unless you have some massive news on this sort of thing today, I wouldn't touch it. So basically, make sure there's high R vol. So if you look at the daily chart, it's basically in a big uptrend. It put in this big long tail hammer, kangaroo tail, and all that. During the consolidation, room to the left of the tail of that hammer. I mean, the long would have been a few days ago, and you're holding this to go up. That's a swing trading perspective. Again, yeah, for that you have to look at other things as well, all the news in the calendar and all that stuff. So be careful of it on a day trading chart. All right, what else, guys? So we're looking at PayPal, SMCI. What else shall we put on to look at? PLTR, I think a few of you guys are looking at that. Cool. So we got these. I think these are good. We can look at these. And 10 a.m. high impact news. Yep. Thanks, honey. Anyways, the SPY doesn't look like anything fun today. The levels they look a bit better as far as the distance between the levels is concerned, but that's just a matter of perspective, right? It's the candles are smaller, so the levels look wider. I doubt I'll find anything on this. Go to the 1 minute chart on the SPY. There's just no room to make money. Anyways, you guys know the drill. Market opens in 30 seconds. Wait for your setup. Set out the opening volatility nonsense. And there's plenty of money to be made. And here's the little trick. If you're struggling to set out the open, I'll tell you the trick is only amateurs trade in the first 5 minutes, even the first 30 minutes. So there you go. Yes, the market is a gold mine. Here we go. Open for business. Again, watching the opening action, you can see these red lines jumping around SMCI, PLTR, PayPal, yeah, jumping around, not going anywhere. It may go somewhere, but the point is they're jumpy. You don't want to play with that.
Oh, there goes SoFi.
Yes, SoFi. Where's the? My SoFi chart seems to be stuck. Oh no, it's back. Yeah, breakout. Wait for it. Still very early. Still very jumpy. I don't like to put risk on when it behaves like this. And yeah, that confirms it to me as well on the SPY. It's already on most of the whole distance. Forget about it. No trade today for me. Just not enough room. Too much risk. SMCI 1 minute ORB, but look how jumpy it still is. This is very scary stuff. I don't like it. SoFi, watch that 1 minute ORB. Could happen. But you know, the sellers are sitting at 23.90. So jumpy.
Take a look at AMD, Avi. Beautiful wick into the yesterday's high, and off it goes. Oh, that's exactly what I was looking for.
All right, let's look at it. My DOS seems to be a little slow today. Oh yeah, there you go. That's your bounce. It just happened early. But
That already would have been Fibonacci level the other day. First minute.
that was it. But wait for it. It could do it again. It could easily come back and bounce again, and it'll be much smoother and slower and easier, and you can catch it. Take your time. It could easily happen. Yeah. Also, big 1 minute ORB alignment on AMD. That was there too. So again, all you scalpers are in business already. Just a jumpy way of trading.
Avi, how would you trade SoFi at this point? You mentioned you wouldn't go in yet. What would you look for to go in?
So we have the 30-minute chart as a consolidation of breakout. The breakout's already happened. I'd wait for it to come back and bounce off 23.50. That would be the retest of the breakout that happened. Just wait for it. If that happens, then it's, you have a chance. You have smaller candles. It'll be easier to catch. You can put on a bigger size with a tighter stop and trust it to go further distance than the initial breakout.
Got it.
So,
Thank you.
just wait for it. Yeah. Again, guys, I don't trade this way anymore. Going into putting these 4 or 5 tickers we already talked about, put them on my watch list, and then watch them and like try and jump into 2 or 3 of them within the first 2 minutes. I used to trade like that. It's a good reason I don't. Basically, I lost a lot of money doing that. And since I stopped doing that, I stopped losing money, which is the first part about not about at least breaking even, stopping, flatlining the P&L, and then you slowly find a way that works for you. So, for me, not touching this is one of the biggest parts of my trade book. It was one of the biggest parts of my learning curve as well. SMCI, Avi8ors level, firmly having trouble there. You don't need to go through that again, right? You guys know why SMCI is struggling right there. So, get that one out of the way. What do you got here? So when you're looking at Apple, right? All these charts are taking a while for me to load today. Something's up with my internet. No big deal. Can't even get the price action on Apple right now. I don't know what's up. We'll try again in a bit, huh? AMD, strong as hell.
Yeah, it's almost at the next level.
Hey, what are the levels you got? Oh man. You know what I'm gonna restart DOS. It's just a disaster at the moment. My DOS is very buggy and laggy. Give me a minute here, guys. I will have to restart this whole thing. Yeah, all right, Alexander, you restarted as well. Yeah, fair enough. All right, what do we have here? We have AMD off of yesterday's high. Yeah, that one ran up. SMCI on the Avi8ors levels. SoFi as well. And what else? Why do I have Amazon on my chart? That makes some sense. So far, there it goes, about 25, nice round number. You probably had a lot of volume there. Let's see if it comes back and bounces off. That could be fun. SMCI firmly respecting these Avi8ors levels. And AMD, let's see what we can work with here.
Avi, can you share your screen?
Oh yeah, sorry. I didn't reshare. Thanks.
AMD's already had almost a $4 move. That's insane.
There you go. Tricky stuff, huh?
Oh, man.
So AMD, there's multiple ways to calculate targets. One is ATR, which is probably pretty reliable, considering it's a pretty stable kind of stock. Let's go with the simple measured move. You can go with the range here. You have the bottom of the pre-market and the top of the pre-market. It's a pretty obvious range. Let's see what we come up with on this one. So the bottom there and the top, just about there, and your target's 178.23-ish, which at the moment it's right there. Yep, there you go. That's your target measured move. Not too complicated, huh? Just using the pre-market range and going with a measured move. So if you manage to catch the breakout through the pre-market, you're up there.
Yeah.
Not too complicated. And we've seen a lot of these lately, huh? Watch SMCI for that breakout. It's very tricky though. I wouldn't enter here. This is not the kind of consolidation I like. But it did bounce off of that 1 minute Warby area, right? Just a minute ago when I was restarting. Got something to work with there. Where is this coming down to? Nothing right now so far. NVIDIA as well. Something's going on with NVIDIA. What's happened here? It's, oh yeah, gap up, and you have a fallen angel pattern. There you go. No, sorry, not fallen angel. Oops, sorry. Just 5-minute ORB. So again, if you're just going with the ORB stuff, I get the other line on this chart. So I'm getting all these indicators wrong. So you have the bottom approximately there of the opening range, and the top would be basically the top of that 1 minute candle. There you go. 5-minute ORB, and your target is about 179.30-ish. Tricky to catch that breakout though. Again, you have this. We saw this yesterday, I think, also on the video, where you have these higher lows inside of the opening range, which gives you a good indication that the buyers are taking over and ready to go up. Having something similar on SMCI at the moment, so watch that breakout. It could be a good one. Pick your entry, and that could be fun. And there you go, AMD, pretty simple measured move kind of trade off the pre-market range. Cool. Raf, you caught SoFi. Nice. Nice. Let's see it. SoFi, yeah, that ORB breakout of the pre-market, Fibonacci level. Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, yeah, and Saban, you wanted to look at Apple, right? Let's look at Apple. Whoa, this looks like a mess. Just looking at Apple on the 30-minute chart, simple enough. It's just right in between where it's been choppy. These last few days, man, it looks like last week or so. It's just, chopping around here. You can scalp it inside this stuff if you like all that, but here's where fractal patterns really come into the picture, where basically fractal pattern theory is whatever you see on the bigger picture is likely to occur on the smaller picture. So what you're seeing on a 30-minute picture is choppy action, right? And so you expect to see choppy action on the 1-minute chart. What do you get? Look at that. Those first, 8 minutes or whatever it is. Just a disaster. So just looking at that, I would stay the hell away from it. There's no point jumping into these sorts of things. So far we're looking at, and AMD, all right, watch that break. Let's see if it goes. Next leg up, 5-day break, is it happening? Yeah, printed a new high, there you go, that's it. Looks like it's happening. There's your breakout. If you like entering at the breakout, you would have entered just a few seconds ago. SMCI is still waiting up there. SMCI is still, so far the activity looks good for the breakout going upwards. It's just not going yet. Wait for it, wait for your entry. And this is why I don't like to pre-enter breakouts. I even don't like to enter at the breakouts like AMD is doing right now. I like to wait for it to actually consolidate and then break out and then retest the breakout area. That's when I have the most conviction. And then you can put on a size, put on some real risk, make it worth it. And the SPY is just a mess. You know what, let's look at it for a moment. Today, the SPY looks better than all these days in the last couple of weeks. Still very tight, man. Very tight to take a trade. There's no setup here anyway. If there was, I'm trying to gauge, is there room to make a profit? Not the way I do it. I'm used to holding these things for an hour or a couple of hours till it goes. That's how far the targets are usually. This can be manipulated by going out of the money. Let's see what that would look like if I was doing it. So I managed to get a long somewhere down here. If I went out of the money, 639, man, it's not even there. 639 contracts. We've been here. So the entry would have been in this area around 55 cents. The target at the other end would be close to 70 cents. There's no room in this, even when you go out of the money. There's nothing here. And now with this lower high, it's becoming a bit tricky. I would think more of a short than a long. Anyways, no setup. It's just a mess. Forget about it. Not worth it. It's just not worth the trouble. So SoFi. Hold it there. AMD. Here's your retest on AMD. Let's see if it's happening. This is a good way to watch it. So you have AMD made a good run up, consolidation, and then breakout, and retest the breakout. The way I would enter is I'd wait for it to print a fully bullish candle, and then the next 1 minute high. Now, fully bullish, I mean the close and the high of the candle are in the same place, which at this point it would have to be 178.67. This candle would have to close there. Let's wait till it closes, then we'll know. There are other ways to do it too. You can bounce off of VWAP and those sorts of things if you like such things, moving averages. Personally,
Would it make more sense to put your stop loss at 177.53 at the breakout of the first candle, the big engulfing candle?
you could do that. But if I'm entering on a retest, I put it below the retest. And so far, the retest is not happening. You can see this does not close a bullish candle up here, bouncing off this area. It's all bearish activity for now, and indecision. But yeah, if you're entering the breakout, you'd ideally put your stop below the breakout candle, which is a wide stop. But I like retests. You typically get smaller candles and smaller, and that way you can put a tighter stop, which allows a bigger size and better RBR. It all comes together. And then it's worth trading. Otherwise, it's not worth it. Just leave it alone.
Sorry, but do you mind just showing me how you mark the Fibonacci levels on AMD? Because I just marked basically the pre-market range, high and low, and mine just.
I didn't mark. There's no Fibonacci levels on AMD. I didn't use that today.
Oh, okay.
Go here of the pre-market right down there.
Yeah.
And the high up here, and it's just a weird move off of that.
Perfect. Yeah, that's exactly what I have. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, this is a pretty well-defined range. Yeah. So let's see. Oh, there's your bullish candle. It's pretty much good. The entry would have been about 5 seconds ago, I think. Yeah, this candle is close to being what I want to see on a retest. The close and the high are very close together. It's not ideal. It's close. Still, you would prefer it more ideal. If you had entered, your stop would be around 178, let's say, or a little below 178. And let's see. Your entry would have been 178.50. Basically, a new 1 minute high. And stop 178. There you go. And then you just don't touch it while it messes around. It's going to do all this mess with you. If it stops you, it stops you. Then you can always re-enter if the setups show itself again, presents itself again.
Avi, can you have another look at SoFi?
Yeah. Oh, that's even more bullish. If you didn't enter before, you'd enter now. Anyways, AMD's getting more and more bullish.
I did. Where would be your target?
Target's the measured move on AMD. What do we have? 179.89. Getting close to 180 at that point. You probably have liquidity sitting there. Let's put that on there. There you go. Looks like it's ready to go. SoFi. So this thing pulled back. I mean, for my stuff, it didn't bounce off of the level that I'm working with. So don't touch it. But if you're scalping, you probably have a moving average of VWAP or something down here that it bounced off of, right? You may want to take that entry.
Okay.
That would have been a minute ago, 2 minutes ago. Let's see what else is there on SoFi. This thing is full of catalysts. You also have the Fibonacci thing where if you identify this as the bottom and the top of the move after the fact, you'd be able to identify it, and then this thing pull back probably the 50% level. And then you print a bullish candle off of that, you can enter there. If you're using purely Fibonacci, but for that, again, we discussed this yesterday, you need a lot of patience. Firstly, make sure it's firmly directional from the get-go, from the very beginning. So this one is. And after you're sure about the top, which let's say around 940, you'd be really sure, okay, that was the top. Then you're waiting for it to really bounce off of 50% level or 38% level. Those are the good ones. Really go down, find new buyers, and bounce and go. Again, I don't use any of that stuff anymore, but those are things you can try. SMCI still not breaking out, but again, look at SMCI still making these higher lows. Still very tricky, right? Tough to enter this, but generally still making higher lows. Let's see it hold above 60. That would be good. There you go. AMD break high of day. Who caught that?
Beautiful.
Let's enter that. Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Good. Get some of this. Giving
Who
me
took
phone.
that apple?
What'd you
Who
say?
took that apple?
Apple. Is Apple going? Big choppy
No,
mess.
going to hell.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Big choppy mess earlier. Why does it look different to me now? It looked, what was I saying earlier? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, choppy on the 30-minute. You expected choppy on the 1 minute, and it was, yes. Yeah, and then after the breakdown, at the moment it's going. Nice. If you catch the breakout, great. We're about there. Apple. And AMD retesting, but let's see if it continues this higher low perspective. That's really good. That means the buyers are basically stepping up. Your 5-minute chart SMCI, again, higher lows. SMCI looks like it could break. And when it does, it's going to be good. Just watch it. Watch it and be patient. The SPY. Hey, the SPY. Pay it. There's that whole thing, right? Is Apple bringing the SPY down, or is SPY bringing the Apple down, or bringing Apple down? Well, there's all these debates. In my opinion, the SPY is made of these 500 tickers. And so when these 500 tickers start to move, especially the heavy weighted ones, they move the SPY. And that's it. But then there's the other school of thought where people are buying and selling the SPY, and so the other tickers will follow. Whatever, man. I don't even pay attention to any of that anymore. But there's all these debates going around. Personally, if I want to trade the SPY, I'll just watch the SPY. That's it. And once again, Fibonacci level firmly respected at the bottom of the SPY move at the moment. Look at that. Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Well, AMD's sellers have stepped up.
Yeah, the sellers sold it higher. So that's interesting. But then it's dropping lower there. So you got your stop stopped out right there a moment ago.
Yeah, I just got.
Yeah, there you go. Get out of there. No point holding a position that's not working. Right? What's happening with the SPY here? Oh yeah, the 10 a.m. news is around the corner. Still too early for the algos to get excited.
That was interesting though on AMD. It did make that higher high, like a high of the day. Did wick above that, but then it just came right back down.
Yep. Market does not do guarantees, does it? Well, you can wait for perfect setups, and remember, perfect setups often fail, and that's why you have a 1 hour stop and 5 hour targets ideally. So you can afford to take perfect setups that fail. What you cannot afford to do is take imperfect setups, whether they win or fail. So that's really what you gotta focus on as a trader, and that's where your performance matters. That's when it really matters.
Hey, Avi. I'm back here doing some part-time trading after the big days that I had, newborn of my baby. And the question that I have is about the SPY. So I did short the SPY because I see two consolidation from the pre-market low. If you look at the 30 minutes.
30 minutes, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I look at that. I just put a level there, yes, and then I know that because the Fibonacci level was too close, I was trying to find a consolidation. So it was a breakout at 943.
943. All right. Yeah.
Yes, and I look at the retest, and I enter at that red candle, the next red candle. Yes.
Yeah, this area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The question that I have is that I know that the Fibonacci level was too close, but from your perspective, that 230 candles for the consolidation, was it good enough, or it was just my luck?
These two?
Yeah.
Let's look at it. That's a good question. So let's get rid of these levels. You have this level down here. That's your breakout zone you're looking at. This is a consolidation. Probably go down. What you want to look at is, one thing is having the breakout, and you're asking me whether it's risky or not. You want to look at targets as well. So you just go back, look to the left, and find where was the last time you found support. This is the most recent price action. You have support down here.
See that? Sure enough, that's so far where it's come down to. So if you have enough RVR on that, that validates one point you need to validate. The other point is, yeah, consolidation here. That's a good consolidation. I think it's okay. So what I'm seeing is these lower highs, then a pull up here. That's that the handle part of the cup and handle sort of pattern. This is a reverse cup and handle. And now you go down. Now this makes sense. But again, what I'm really trying to highlight is make sure you have your target in mind also, because you didn't mention anything about your target. The setup makes sense. It's fine. You got to have the setup and have a really firm target in mind. That way you actually have some RVR to work with. So in this case, if you got in here somewhere and your stop is above that entry candle, it goes straight down there. In about 3 minutes, you're close to that target zone. That makes sense. I think it's okay.
Okay.
About it. Yeah. There's another thing I would probably, well, same thing we've been doing on the other tickers. Let's do it here. We have the measured move. You have the top of the opening range and the bottom, I'd say, is about here. You can see with these 3 buyers sitting here. And then you have these lower highs. You have the breakout, the retest, and that's your measured move, and it went almost to the second measured move too. So that's another way to get into this sort of thing. Using these, just identifying the opening range and going with the measured move.
I exited when it touched the Aminarchi level, which is almost the same as what you draw. It was 630.3. And if I put that,
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
6.3. That's cool. That target makes sense. It also makes sense if you look at yesterday's post-market support. The most recent buyers were there. That's why it makes sense.
yeah, the conviction that I had was that there was not much of a buying interest. Maybe sellers are in control, and I said that I had a short bias. Just a matter of I was waiting for the opportunity to enter, and I took it. Setup showed up. I had no choice to enter.
Yeah, there you go. As long as you know your setup and you're firm about your setup, you're not creating setups. Then you take your setups. You have to take your setups, otherwise you'll never make money or lose money. But you got to take your setups. That's good. I think this was all right. This was a decent setup for a short on that perspective. Not on the Avinacci levels. They're not working at the moment. But the way you saw it, yeah, makes sense.
It was a good day, first day back.
Welcome back, man. You got plenty of luck on your side. Baby luck.
Thanks.
Congrats again, man.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So I did get back into AMD right at the break and retest again. So now we basically just made back for that loss.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, I did the retest again. Well, this was a tricky one because of that was lower than the first retest, but overall still you can kind of see the higher lows. Again, I think it's getting a bit tricky up here, but good job entering and getting it up there. Cool, that works. That works. Very
Can you
nice.
take a look at Apple? Yeah, and you have an Apple. So I know that you don't take from the 1 minute, but how do you like that 1 minute, which is so big, the wick?
Yeah, down here, yeah.
Yeah, but it's after a giant candle.
Yeah, it's after a giant candle. Firstly, let's say you have a level somewhere down here, right? Oh, sorry, no. Thanks. I'm making a mess of these charts. Apple down here. Let's say, for example, you have a level somewhere in this range on a bigger perspective. So you need that first. You got to make sure that there's a level you believe in. Then it's got to get there and put in this perfect hammer, but after a consolidation, not after a giant candle. There's only this giant candle that's causing a problem right now for this reversal.
True.
That's why I'm taking. But it could still set up as a double bottom. That could happen. Wait for it. But you make sure you have a level there. I just put this here to show you, but really there should be. If there's no level there, it's not a reversal area. It shouldn't be. So looks like today Apple really wants to get out of this choppy zone. Well, at least for now, it's at the bottom. Or came through it. So there you have support down there. It went even lower. So you have support down here as well. These are all support levels. Oh, man, this chart's a mix. Here. So all these levels, you can see where the buyers were. Down here, down up here. So yeah, now that makes sense as a reversal area. If it's going short, finding reversals down here. This is how I would find levels. And wait for it. So it's all down here, really. Wait for a big double bottom. The setup's not there yet, I think, for a reversal. I wouldn't go reversing this. Not yet.
SMCI finally making the move.
It is. Did it finally break out that thing? Been looking at it for 30 minutes now. There you go. Getting close to that high up there. Here we go. Perhaps this is where it may let it give it a little consolidation, break high up there, and off you go. There you go. AMD, measured move, working. There you go. Printed a new high on SMCI. There's your high day break. Cool. Fun. Let's see now. Retest would be really good. You can really put on the size. And the target, you got enough room to run. Going through 60. It's already gone through 60. Going through where? 61.50. There we go. Yeah, good stuff. What else you got here, Mark? You see, you took 1 hour today. The levels are tight. You took puts on spot. Yeah. Don't know where it'll stop. Should have waited more. Yes, you're getting booed. That's right. Levels are tight. I mean, that's why I don't like to put the risk on. You can trade tight levels, but you're scalping, and I'm just no interest in that. My mindset is just not there anymore. I'm much happier with waiting for a big one. Put on the 10-hour opportunity. If it only goes 5 hours, fine, take 5 hours. But put on the opportunity. Give yourself the opportunity. What happened here? This thing just stalled out completely. The action's dead here on SoFi. What else we got? You're looking at Amazon. Retest of what? On Amazon, what are you looking at? Let's see. Amazon, tight range. Since yesterday, it broke right through it. Yesterday's support. Down into this area of support. Look at these lows down here. 231. The little day here just above it, 231.20. What are you looking at on Amazon? If you're looking at just opening ranges, and let's see, just identify the opening range. You have the top there, and it just went from there and down. There you go. You can see the bottom right there. A couple of bounces, false breakout, then the breakout, close to a retest, and off it goes. One leg consolidation, second leg bigger than the first leg, and here's where you be careful with it. That would make sense.
Wow, AMD is strong.
AMD, still going?
Still in it.
Good. Hold on to that. 181.50 is where I put the next dark order.
Yeah, that's where my next target is.
Yeah. Cool. Again, this is not a place to enter. It's already made a huge move and all this stuff. Too risky up there. If you're in it, that's great. And good job re-entering. That's always tough. That's one of those real tricks in day trading. People get upset when they stop out and then they either revenge trade, which is re-enter blindly, quickly, without first setup, and the other is just getting terrified and not touching it again, even though the setup presents itself just a few minutes later. So that was good. You waited for it. You didn't blindly enter. You didn't revenge trade it. And you just waited for the setup to present itself again. There you go. That's real day trading. That's what it's all about. Good stuff.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, do it the right way, guys. That's really good. Good stuff. Alexander, 181.50 because it's the measured move. I've taken the measured move from this pre-market range and just putting levels at the same measure. 181.50 is the next area. All you got to do is survive the pullbacks and such things. If your entry was down here, you should be okay for the most part. It'll probably pull back. It'll probably bounce off 179. I mean, it's already made a big move, right? So let it sit. And anyways, you take off a lot of it at 180-ish. The trade's over at that point. Everything from here on is a bonus. What else we got? SMCI, false breakout. Yeah, didn't want to go, huh? Not yet, at least. It's getting really messy on SMCI. I mean, you had the things like AMD and Amazon, much better behavior than SMCI. Actually, this is a good example. Now you guys also know one of the reasons why I just traded the Mag 7 and avoided all these catalyst tickers in the last 2 years, I think. I haven't traded anything with a catalyst. It's just purely these Mag 7 tickers with their options, and then moved even into the SPY from there. All these catalyst ones, they get messy. You can see on things like Amazon and AMD and all of this, you get these ORB setups pretty much every day. You don't need to go running around. Right? Just not necessary. You want to make it easy. It's a tough business. You want to make it easy on yourself. But it's no fun here. Yeah. What else we got? Oh yeah, look at NVIDIA. We weren't even looking at it for a while. So we had that opening range, breakout, retest, and hit the target. There you go. Not too complicated, right? There you go. All right, we have new 30-minute candles. Let's have a look. It's just past 10 a.m. Did the news come in? Looks like it didn't have much of an impact on the SPY. All these levels here for now. And no. So the first 30-minute candle on the SPY was just indecision, really. More bearish than bullish, but all indecision. No setup. Nothing to work with here.
Does Tesla look like about?
Tesla. Oh boy. Are you shorting in Tesla already? Let's see. If you're asking about reversals, it's been short, it's been weak, and you'd look for the more recent buyers. You have this area of support, kind of where it is now. You have really yesterday's lowest, the big one, I think. On a 30-minute perspective, it has to close a few 30-minute candles to show me a reversal. There's nothing here. Even if this closes as a big hammer, you wouldn't go long on this. Let's see, a 1-minute perspective. Oh man, no, it's a mess down here. It's a mess for most of the day so far. Leave it alone. There's nothing telling you that the buyers are taking over. It even made a new low right now. For now, just leave it alone. 320, is that a sticky area? Let's look at 320. Yeah, it got stuck in the pre-market yesterday. That's not really that sticky. It's been a while since it's been there. But nah, the price action's not behaving well. Let's see what Tesla would look like on a 1-minute ORB perspective. If you just draw the high and low of the first 1 minute, call that the opening range. There you go, high, low, and that would have been your target down there. Not too far off from where it stalled.
Apple double bottom, I think, maybe.
Apple.
I took it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, there you go. All the levels are in this area, right? All the buyers. We found that on the 30-minute chart earlier. And this low is higher than that low when it closes.
Yeah, that's why I took it.
Yeah, and the new 1-minute high would be the entry, the stop right below it, and you're in this long. That makes sense. There you go. I would look at this as a good looking double bottom. Good.
There were two other reasons. The ATR was exhausted at the bottom, right at the bottom, and then also it was S6 as well. So there were all confirmation for me, so I took it.
All right, good. You got all those indicators. Nice. It's nice when they align, huh?
Yep.
Just in your trade book, make sure you have it well defined. Like you need to see 4 out of these 5 indicators align for you to take the setup. Something like that. So you don't just get excited and when you see one of those indicators and you just take it. Make sure you have it clear in your trade book of how you want to see it, and then take it.
Now the question is the target. I have 2 targets. One is the VWAP, and the other one is 214.40 because of the big orders. But I'm not sure which one should I.
214.40 up there. You're getting into it. You know what? You see this here? This is the when it went down from up, looks like here's where the sellers took over and really were aggressive, right? So just under 214, that's where I would put the target for that reason. Just looking at candlesticks, you can see there was support here. It broke down, support turned resistance. So I would use that as a target.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's see. And you can always de-risk on the way. So if your stop was around 212 when you entered, you'd be closer into 212.30-ish at the moment. And tighten it up as it goes a little bit. You want to at least move it into your break even. And then let's see if it hits the target. Otherwise, no big deal. That's how I would trade these things. Good catch. Really good stuff. Pretty neat.
Thanks.
Told you, man, you're having a good phase in life at the moment. Ride it out. It's all
No
good.
sleeps during the night. That is difficult. I have to, because the night shifts are with me, so I have to wake up 2 and 12, 2, 4, 6, 8. Difficult one.
Yep, I remember the same, man. I had 2 kids and both little babies, and that's when I was just about reading what is a candlestick and how to day trade. No sleep, get up at like 6 a.m. to try and figure out day trading. Oh my god, same thing you're going through. It's all good. Been there. We all make it through somehow.
Yeah, but it's just a matter of I accept this difficulty because I want to make a future for my kids. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, you got it, man. You're in the right place. Again, I had the same motivation as well. Just create all this.
Yes. I heard that. I loved it when I said it. I loved it. Yeah, you're in the same boat.
Same boat. Precisely the same boat.
Yep.
Good stuff, man. Keep at it.
Thank
got
you.
it. Nice.
With all your support, we can do it.
Well, your success is your success, not mine. So you get the credit for the work you're putting in. All I can do is help and support along the way, and everyone here as well. So let's do this all together. We got this. Oops. Did it go? Look at that. What a disastrous mess, SMCI. Stay away from all that stuff. Zone, yeah. Still a mess down there. Crappy price action. And once again, guys, I'm telling you about watching the Mag 7 versus watching SoFi, SMCI, all this stuff that you guys like to watch. NVIDIA also gave you that ORB breakout as well as a retest, and you go. AMD, look at any of these Mag 7. There's 7 tickers. 8 really, and one of them will give you something every day. And more realistically, about 3 of them, without having to go around wondering where the catalyst and what's on the move and doing all that pre-market nonsense. To me, that's all a waste of time. I used to do all that, and now I just don't. So I'm saying, there's easier ways to make money in the market than most of us think. They go AMD, break high of day again.
Oh my god, son of a gun.
Off it goes. Yeah, Nasser, go ahead.
Do you think SPY is setting up for double bottom?
SPY, let's see. I don't see it. I don't see a double bottom on a 1-minute chart. I have a lot of indicators here, but let's get rid of all this. It's just getting messy. There it is. What double bottom do you see? I don't see anything.
Well, yeah, on it looks like actually it is setting a double bottom, but not much on 5 minutes, not much on 3 minutes, on higher time scales.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest.
Yeah. So if it's not absolutely clear to you, then don't touch it. Most likely you're forcing it. So if you have to squint your eyes and figure out is it a double bottom, it's probably not. My little rule of thumb is that if it takes me more than 5 seconds to figure it out, it's not there.
I see.
So it should be basically an obvious setup. Honestly, that's kind of my rule in life too. If something takes more than 5 seconds to figure out, forget about it. It's a waste of time.
But so far it's clearly setting up for a breakout. Well, to me, I think, because it higher lows, higher and almost higher highs.
Breakout of where? High of day?
A high of the day. Is it not the case?
It's not even in the opening range yet. You see, it made that opening range, then it broke down through there. Wait for it to get back in the opening range and then assess these higher lows. Not even there yet. Way too early. Just wait for it. Wait for it to get back to at least its opening price up here, 638.36, and then get to its high of day, which is what, 638.66. At least get it to this zone, then assess what it looks like. For now, it's way too.
Avi, Nasser meant SoFi.
Yes. I think next. Sorry, I meant so far.
Right, yeah. So a mess. Oh my gosh. These are. I was thinking higher lows earlier, but then this got down here. This is not a higher low. It's actually a lower low.
Correct.
Previous deep one, right? This is a mess. I don't trust this at all. Just wait for it. It could make a ascending wedge at 25 in this area. Then look at it then.
Okay.
Again, wait for it to get to high up there into this zone, and then assess it.
Just be careful for the SoFi because I have the bookmark. It's a very heavy order at 25, so it could be liquidated and then bounce back. It could break out. So the reason it's getting close to that 25 is because maybe there's some volume to pump it to that 25. So not sure it's a good idea to enter now. Maybe at 25 and let's see.
Yeah.
That's my suggestion.
That makes good sense. 25, lots of liquidity. Wait for it to
And
get.
there is nothing after that. I'm telling that 25 is a big order, giant order, and then after that it's little orders like 26 is little, but 25 is really heavy.
Now, if you're using the order book like that, what you could look at is 25 is really heavy, and if it gets up there and hits 25, then look at the order book at that point and look further up. Look at if new big orders are coming online. 25, 50, 26, all that stuff. You want to see those sellers stacking it up once you get there. Then if you have a breakout setup at 25, ascending wedge, ABCD, something like that, then you might have something to work with. Because the order book is a dynamic thing, right? It keeps changing. So keep an eye on it. Things will change quite quickly once it hits 25. If it doesn't stack up above 25, then it's likely to not go. Doesn't mean it may go short. It just means it may not be going up there further than 25. So keep an eye on that stuff. It's a moving target, the order book. That's the thing about it. That's why I don't like it. It's just too many moving parts. So things to look at if you're using it. What do we got here in the chat? What am I missing? Saban, the Amazon retest. I went through that. Alexander, Suzanne, doing it for the kids. Yeah, absolutely. All of us are. Most of us in here are in that kind of age range where we have kids. So, yeah. But also there are one or two people in here who most of us could be the parents of. They're a lot younger. They're in the early 20s. Raf, grandparents. Raf. Yeah, some of you got grandkids too in here. It's amazing. Love it. Cool. Yeah, watch SoFi as it goes through the order book. Asghar, you got Bookmap? You want to share the screen on Bookmap or the window? Is it possible for you?
Yeah, of course. Oh no, unfortunately, it's in a different laptop. What I can do, because I am going to exit a trade, I can bring it up. Yes, I will do that shortly. Yeah, give me a second. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, Dennis got it. Dennis, you can do it already. So no need, Asghar. Thanks.
Okay.
Conveniently, then Dennis can do it easily. Thanks. Go ahead, Dennis. Yeah, you can share the Bookmap window on SoFi. Let's see what this looks like at 25 and order book looking further up. All right, thank you. So 25, lots of orders. Now, what I'm really curious about is overhead. You can see the 25-20 zone. There's some light stuff sitting there. This is interesting. Cool. Let's see. As it hits 25, you want orders stacking up further up. Dennis, could you zoom out a little bit? Maybe we can get a view on 25-50. There we go. Thank you. That might be useful. Let's see. So 25.50, you can see there's a blue line there. 26 is already there. But you see there's lots of empty space between 25 and 26. Let's see if that space gets filled as SoFi hits 25. So this will be a good little exercise. Again, I used to trade all this stuff using the order book. I was very heavy with the order book, using it for targets always. Using a tape for entry and the order book for targets. Quite effective. But like I said, too many moving parts for me. I just like to make things easier. Best is when you just put on a trade and just leave it alone and check it tomorrow. And it went 10R. Done. That was my favorite way of trading. In the meantime, guys, we have 10 minutes left. So yeah, whatever you want to discuss, we got 10 minutes. Go ahead.
Hi, Avi. Could you check the SMCI, please?
Yeah. What do we have right here? What do you see? Getting up to close to that high of day. Listen, it's a real big mess. I just don't like the look of it. It's got teeth on both sides earlier. It had those higher lows, but then you see it went up, it came right back. It's kind of looking like a square block. You know, it's like a Lego. Gosh, I play with too much Lego. It just looks disastrous. What you really want is a clean high of day break. If that happens, you know, that'd be all right. But so far, all the action between low of day and high of day today, it's been a mess. So perhaps it'll clean up after it breaks high of day. There you go. It's doing it now, maybe. But this is not where I would enter. This candlestick's too big, too wide, too dangerous. Keep an eye on it. There you go. There's your break. But I wouldn't enter here. That consolidation wasn't even a good one. Be careful with this. When you compare it to something like AMD right here, you can see it's much cleaner and simpler to trade, right? This is what you want to see. SMCI, we could make money on it, but it's just dangerous.
Yeah, thank you.
This Amazon is good for shorts at this moment.
Nah, it's a mess. Leave it alone. You're excited. It's a mess. Look at that. It's just chopping. It's been a mess since 9:50. It hasn't told you firmly that buyers are taking over or sellers are taking over. It's just telling you that it's been there for a while and it's staying there. It's not making any sort of breakout pattern, reversal pattern. I mean, there's nothing going on here. Absolutely nothing. I would leave it alone.
And it is close to ATR, so shorting, there is no RVR.
There you go. ATR perspective, yeah, there's nothing there.
It could be not in your playbook. It is in my playbook, so there is no good RVR.
Yeah. There's nothing.
I see 30. There are orders slightly less than 231. I thought like some room.
If you want to get there, see, we identified these green lines here. These are all sellers. These are all buyers, recent buyers, just in the last couple of days. They could easily be buying it up from here. You don't know. So if you want to go short, you want to firstly overwhelm those buyers.
I see. Okay, got it.
And then even down here, you have another one. You can just click down here. On the way to 230, if you want to go to 230, you get a lot of trouble along the way. It's just not worth the trouble, you know? I'd wait for it.
Oh, fair enough. Thanks.
Yeah, Dan, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning. The Avi levels in the last few days have ranged from the biggest bar, the 5 minutes open bar, 935. The pre-market range encompassing the range of the pre-market, or encompassing the opening range first 10 minutes or so. So this here knucklehead will like get a little clarity on things.
Yeah, no worries. Love that background, by the way.
So we've been promoted from mentees to Avi8ors, so I thought
yeah, I love it. That's perfect. We all got to go with the theme now. Get everyone involved. Yeah, so the Avi levels haven't changed. The way I describe them is it's the 8 a.m. candlestick on the 30-minute chart. That's it. That hasn't changed. Since that's been completely useless in the last call it 1 month, it feels like I'm just exploring, and not even exploring, just sharing with you guys different ways of finding levels. So we have the 30-minute charts. There's ways to use that. We have ways to use finding the opening range and then going off of measured moves off of that. You can even use daily chart levels, like bounce off previous day's high, like we saw in AMD today. So these are all different ways of doing levels. There's so many different ways. I've used all of these over the years, one by one, gone through these different strategies. So you can see all of them work at some point, at some level, in some way. But you got to pick what makes sense to you the most and what you can live with, really, as in what's easy for you to decipher in real time and trade on, and then stick to it. So personally, again, for me, I'm not touching any of this stuff. I'm just trading the Avi levels. I haven't found a trade. I have only one trade in July so far. This month looks like it's going to end that way. And that's it. So I'm not chopping and changing just because my strategy is at the moment is not presenting itself. Just wait for it. It'll come back. Next month, maybe September, maybe, I don't know, whenever. So again, these are all just different ways of finding levels. So yeah, what we have on SMCI, I think we have Avi levels today. We're on SoFi. On Amazon, we're just looking at 30-minute levels here and looking at the opening range on the 1-minute chart. Here it is, and using the measured move off of that. So different ways to do things, and none of them are right, none of them are wrong. It's just a matter of what can you execute best and most consistently, and what makes the most sense to you. So that's
yeah. So that's clear, all right? Can you give us an example? For example, United Healthcare, UNH.
Mm-hmm.
How would you set the level on that puppy?
UNH, sure. Look at that SMCI did go. Who was asking? Helen, I think you were asking there.
Yeah.
Went. All right. UNH, United Healthcare. So if we're doing the Avi levels, there you go. And let's zoom out a little and have a look. Well, I don't see a setup, and the overnight activity is just so big and disastrous. Can't.
So here you're using the 8-minute candle.
Yes, that 8 a.m. candle. This is the Avi level as we know it. That's all it is. So these levels are there. But again, as far as price action is concerned, there's no setup that I could see that makes any sense.
I was just struggling this morning trying to figure out the levels in the pre-market.
Mm-hmm.
So I went short on that thing early on. Okay, good. How about SoFi? How would you look at that level?
SoFi, yeah. So these are the Avi levels.
So 8 a.m. candle. Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Very good.
Yeah, the consolidation there and the breakout worked out quite all right.
All right. Thank you, Avi. Appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. No worries. Cool.
Hey, Avi, one more question. Can you explain how do you interpret the exhaustion candle?
Exhaustion candle. All right. Let's see what we have here. I think we had. Let's use this. I think we had Apple. Yeah, there we go. So I'm usually not even familiar with the term exhaustion candle, but what I assume you're saying is it's in a trend, and then one of these candles somewhere tells you that that trend is over. That to me is this candle right here, this hammer down here. Now it's telling you, like, you can see where it's all red candles and it's all moving firmly. Actually, then you get this white candle. This one is telling you a change of behavior, right? So you had 5 candles, basically all red. You had some buyers get in the way here, but they were quickly overwhelmed. And then you have buyers down here, this white candle. And right after that, you even have indecision. So now you don't know. Now, just because you had a white candle here doesn't mean it's going to be a reversal and go up. All it's telling you is that what has happened has stopped happening, right? It's just a change of behavior. And then you follow the behavior. You see it's a white candle, which is bullish, but doesn't mean it's going to be a reversal. Then you have indecision. Now you definitely don't know what the hell's going on. It could go anywhere. There's 3 directions it could go, right? Up, down, or sideways. Sure enough, the next candle just continues straight down. All right. So you think it may be now. It could continue its downtrend. No big deal. And then you have this big hammer. And this is really telling you, okay, hold on. That down move looks like it stopped again. And let's see now what happens. You wouldn't go long off of this. Then the next candle, it continues that bullish activity. Now you're beginning to think of a reversal, but the setup's really not there yet. The setup happens when it pushes up and comes back down. and makes that double bottom. And I think Asgar was into this one. So so that's how I would see the term exhaustion candle. Is basically telling you that the move that's been happening is exhausted. And your first clue was here, this white one, and the next one was this hammer. Now, I can tell you there's a much simpler way of doing this. If you're in a move like this one on Apple, you're going short, and you're waiting to see an exhaustion candle before you take off the trade, it's going to get messy because this is all subject to interpretation. So instead of that, I strongly recommend have a target in mind. So if you had this as a target, you're in that move, it gets to the target, you're taking off 80 or 90% of that position, and that's it. It's all over. You don't need to think about exhaustion candle, exhaustion volume, any of that complicated stuff and subjective stuff that can trip you up when you're having a bad day, especially when, after a couple of losers, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna mess you up in your mind. So anyways, that's what it is, and I don't recommend spending too much time getting into it. It's really not that useful.
Yeah,
Hope
thank
that
you.
helps. Cool. All right. SMCI made the move and straight up to that level. And what were we looking at? SoFi, right, on the 25. Didn't even get there. Not yet. So if and when it gets there, you guys can then look at the order book, see what stacks up ahead. And look at that. We're just at about 10:30 now. So I'm going to end this session here, guys. And the Hooligan group is on in the voice room, in the Discord voice room. And at 11, we'll have our Tuesday candlelight session. So basically, it's a Q&A session in 30 minutes. I'll provide everyone with a new link for that one. And just bring out your questions, and we'll discuss it, and we'll see what insights we can come up with there. So that'll be in about 30 minutes. I'll put out the link now for that new session. Between now and then, we got the clowns in the voice room. Yeah, fun with it. Yeah.
Hey, sorry, where's the candle session?
I'll be putting a link in the announcements.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. All right. Stuff, guys. Good trading. Looks like a lot of fun. A lot of you guys had a lot of fun. Keep it up, and I will see you all very shortly, about 30 minutes. Take it easy.
Thank you.
Talk to you all soon.